there were other students that would work with pen, I couldn't do it. I got so used to working with pencil, and it scared me to work in pen because it felt so permanent. You know what I mean? So I feel like this whole world is kind of the best combination of both at the same time. And what I'm talking about is the fact that we're able to kind of get away with writing in pen, but erasing like a freaking eraser. Now, or like pencil. Today, I figured is going to be kind of a building day. I've kind of been putting off the thing that's going to allow us to get to the third tier, basically complete the space elevator phase 1. And that is to create the factory using the 2 pure iron nodes over back at our main base. As I turn around, here is the Caterium node that we found. If you look right here, we currently are very, very close. We're just under 200 meters away from the main hub right here. And the cool thing is we were able to kind of start up a little bit of a Caterium ingot thing going on. So currently we've got our miner. It comes into the middle. It sends stuff left and right. I know there's some clip in there. And then it groups that all up and it brings it up above, sort of merges them all together and sends them on a giant, improbable, let's say, bridge. I was trying to figure out how to get it there efficiently. I didn't have anything on my mind, so there you go. There you go. Currently, I can use this like a, I guess, movable sidewalk to get us back home faster. Eventually, I'll want to make this look a little more probable, but yes, it is a flying, floating bridge. I know we've probably all done it at some point, and now it's my turn. You'll also notice that in the distance, things look a little bit different, and we've also just kind of been prepping for this upcoming build, so this should be pretty interesting. So we've got our sink, because currently this double box right here is completely full. Oh, I didn't even realize that we had a dismantle crate right here. Excellent. Well, we'll take that. So currently we have, I think I picked up all the tickets, but we have like 42 tickets right now that I haven't even spent anything in the shop. So that's pretty exciting. And both of these bins currently are filled with Caterium ingots. So everything else is just being sunk. I basically just have a standard storage container and with a lift, and then it goes up just for a little extra storage. We can keep chaining it up, but I don't think we need that much Caterium right now, at least this early on, but we can definitely unlock some things, and I think that'll be a good way to go. We have the same exact setup for copper, just the same as last time. Some wires right here, or cables, and then copper wire on the opposite side, and most of it's being sunk right now. And then the biggest changes come up with a concrete and over power. So you'll notice it's a lot easier to get up now. I kind of added some ramps, and I've been playing around with the configuration a little bit. We've got 10 biomass burners, a little bit loud, but we've got 10 biomass burners, and I've never done this before, but essentially to feed them, instead of having the spine, I'll call it, down the middle, and then branching off to the left and the right, I wanted to see how close I could get these together and still maintain a walkway. And so essentially this is what this is. It's basically, we'll climb up to the top so we can see a little bit better, but essentially it is an aerial spine. I thought it's pretty cool. It's got a weird sort of angle to it, just because I could bring this down a little bit and it's a little flatter, but the problem is that it then clips through this status light, and I didn't really appreciate that. So there's that. So now we have a solid amount of power. We've got 340 megawatt for our 200 being used, but we're going to need every last bit of it. That might even be a little too, maybe not enough. I don't know. We'll have to see with the new build. And then over on the side, now we actually have walkways, right? So we can actually walk through here. And then I've kind of moved our storage container to the side so we can grab some of the biofuel, the solid biofuel, just straight up. It's closest to the outside where we run. And then that's passed back on up and essentially piped on over with the stackable conveyor belts. I didn't really use these too much the last time that I played, so I wanted to experiment, and I really, really like them. I knew that they had stairs before, or not stairs, ladders before, but gosh, they're phenomenal. I really, really dig them. The fact that they're functional as far as like an archway for a human to walk through. We're pretty short. Look at that. We can fit through that underneath that first, I guess, horizontal beam. But then you can also have multiple buses, conveyor buses moving through it. I think it's really, really cool. So Right now, it's basically the same setup. It's just got a little more space for us to walk now, right? And nothing's changed with all of the iron setup right here. The biggest change comes with the concrete, because our limestone before, we only had one node being used. Right now, there's 3 normal limestone very, very close to each other. Oops, I didn't even fell right off. My gosh, this is embarrassing. What I've done is essentially taken the miner and I've sent another bridge. This one's a little more probable, but when we get pillars, I'd like to be able to kind of support that a little better. And then that's being passed through. Again, I'm experimenting with the stackable conveyor. Are they poles? Conveyor poles, stackable conveyor poles. And then we're using the right angles to then send it along the outside so there's more room on the inside. I've seen so many videos of people doing stuff along the outside of their walkways, and I think it's so cool. And we basically have the Mark 1 belts and Mark 1 belts, and then they come into a merger, and then out comes the Mark 2 belt at 120, and then you feed in from the right side of 4 different constructors, and then this one at 60 feeds in from the left side, and they're basically in a raised manifold. And then out on the opposite, they just get all the concrete, pipe it out to the left, and then follow the same path back so that we're using as little real estate as possible. So I think I really, really like it so far. So I'm glad. I made a promise to myself that I would try to do things a little more neatly and not just haphazardly. So I'm trying to keep to my promise. And this is something that's simple that anyone can do. And this also allows us to load from the top so that now we can access our stuff from the bottom. This is our version of the conveyor storage container tongue that shows what's inside right here. And now we actually have quite a bit of concrete, which is great. And we even have a whole nother storage container up above, which is actually filling now. So that's really cool. So I was kind of thinking it would be really, really good to get some unlocks going and actually buy some stuff in the shop. We've got 42 tickets to spend there, so let's do it. I cannot wait. And then we're going to explain the build and get into it. I don't know how far we're going to get, but we're going to do our best. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, we already have some Caterium ingots here. I guess I'll just take pretty much almost anything right now because I don't know what it is that we will need. I guess I'll just get a little bit of everything. Yeah. I would like to start with this right here, the yellow power slug, so we can actually turn these into power shards. So we actually have all of the necessary stuff. Now the rotors we will need for the build, so I just realized I'll have to build some more, but it's going to allow us to go a little bit deeper, so let's do it.
Research completed. Yellow power slugs are further into their life cycle than blue power slugs, and thus have more potential energy stored. They can now be processed into power shards.
Well, I love that because that frees up a slot. So take a look at that. 3 yellow slugs at 2 power shards each. We're going to get 6 out of those, and we're going to grow to a massive 14 power shards. That's awesome. So let's go ahead and grab some of these steel pipes because I saw under, I think it was nutrients, we can get the nutritional processor. That's going to be awesome.
Research shows potential for processing planetary nutrients for pioneer benefit. Nutritional inhaler research available.
See, I'm really, really excited about the nutritional inhaler, but unfortunately, I've got to get these pale berries. They look totally like really, I don't know, is that the right word? Voluptuous raspberries, I suppose. But it's not actually something that I have yet, and therefore we can't even get lizard doggo. So we're keeping an eye out. We'll find it soon enough. Definitely can research the quick wire, so let's go ahead and do that. We got a lot of ingots out here.
Research completed. Quickwire recipe unlocked. New Caterium research available.
I'm really excited about some of the stuff we can get after what we've unlocked, but those are kind of necessary tiers, and I wanted to make sure that we did that together. So now we've got our tickets to spend. So I drew up a little hand annotated plan. I would like to make rotors, and I would like to make reinforced iron plates. So that we're going to need 8 smelters, 14 constructors, and at least 5 assemblers. And then if for some reason we get through this right away, then I guess we'll keep going with smart plating. But I honestly, it takes me a long time to build, and I want to play with some new, or at least new to me, concepts. So what we're going to want to get, I'm definitely going to want to make sure that I can grab, oh, customizer. Here we go. So I definitely want to get the concrete foundation material. That's going to actually make it a lot cheaper to put down all of the foundations without the need for plates. So that's going to be huge. So I'm actually going to buy that right off so that oh, not enough coupons. Oh, that's right. I stored the coupons back here. So now we have to have them in our inventory, and then we'll go back to the awesome shop, and then we shall go ahead and buy that. So we just got our concrete foundation material. When it comes to, oh, signs. No, I would love signs, but we don't even have the quartz and all that. I definitely want the wall power outlets, and I also want the conveyor lift floor holes. That's going to be very, very helpful indeed. So we'll go in and buy those. I want to have conveyor walls. That's going to put holes into walls so we can actually feed the building from the outside. So we'll add that to the cart. Definitely want some doors if possible. That would be phenomenal. I would love that. I'm going to leave the windows as a bonus if we have enough tickets. Then I want to make sure that we can have ramps. So the ramps, oh, railing's great, and it's only one ticket, but I want to have the modern catwalks because then we can get the catwalk stairs, and those are just in general actually functional stairs, and those are awesome. Factory ladders would be great, the pillars would be great, but just in the name of expediency, let's just go with a concrete pillar set, and then we'll go ahead and buy that. Okay, so now everything's bonus. Apparently we had enough, so that's awesome. I mean, I definitely want a coffee cup, but tell you what, I want the ladders because that's going to make exploration really, really nice. And there are times like the big, weird sort of foundation ramps that we've got going up can be a little bit prettier, so that's nice. I dig that. I'd like to get a road barrier because they're useful for placing things in weird places. Windowed walls, yes please, let's do it even though I don't really have the silica to support it. And then foundation wise, I think there's the double ramp set. That's a lot nicer to look at. So for the ramps that we got going on to go up to the concrete area, because it's like a smooth angle instead of some strange sort of, I don't know, like half triangle thing going on, right? And then as far as finishes, we don't have any coated concrete yet. Oil processing base building, so I don't have that. And honestly, I don't think all of the different, maybe like concrete wall material, that would be nice. I'll definitely grab that. And now we've got 4 more tickets. Ooh, do we go with the, I guess the roof or something like that? Structural frame set, basic steel, fix it, roofs and corners. That's going to be 10. I don't have that much, so you know what? That's what we got right now. I dig it. So we'll go over to purchases. We'll go in and drop in the excess tickets. All the other stuff we've unlocked. If we go to our build menu now, you can see that there's now wall outlets, which with a capacity for 4 connections. We've got the conveyor lift floor hole. We've got our new double ramps. That's more for later. That's not really for this build. And then we've got our windows, we've got our doors, and then we've got our conveyor holes in the wall, and then a bunch of pillar and catwalk, stair, railing, and ladder and road barrier. So that was a lot of unlocks all at once. And are we going to use them all today? Not necessarily, but it's going to be really, really nice to have them in our pocket. Now I'm going to use the to-do list. We're going to need 14 constructors. God, that's more than ever. This is quite ambitious. Like I said, I don't know if I don't know if we're gonna need all this, but we'll see how it goes. I'm just gonna keep it to 5 assemblers, 8 smelters, and 14 constructors. So let's make sure that we've got the materials for all of this. We can put away some of the stuff that we don't need, and then now it's a matter of making sure we've got enough rotors. We're gonna need 17 rotors. Guess what? We can make exactly 17. That's cool. I think it's a limitation of the screws, but you know what? It doesn't really matter because the rotors are something that we are going to have access to after the build is complete, because then that factory is going to create reinforced iron plates and it's going to create rotors. And then if in the future we need to, we can go ahead and take those 2 products, put them together, and we'll get smart plating. And then that will satisfy phase 1. So now we've got all of our rotors. It's just a matter of picking up the wires from down in the copper operation down below. You'll probably notice I've changed the color from like black and red to black and deep Concord blue. And the reason why is I wanted to differentiate between the red that I'm using for sinking out items. It's just easier for me to I guess, like suss out what's what, right? I'll be perfectly honest. I am nervous. I'm nervous doing this because I've never tried something like this. I know bunnies have told me before about basements, so you can see I've kind of been trying to figure out different types of setups for basements. I've never really, I feel I haven't mastered a lot of things, and I kind of want to try them out here. So the idea right here, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different constructors. We're going to need 14. And originally I was trying to think about expansion. So I was thinking instead of having, let's say, constructors here and constructors on this side and then feeding them in a manifold in the middle, and you'd have 7 and 7 where it's nice and compact. I'm trying to think about expanding in the future. So I was thinking of making one giant line of 14 constructors across the way. And then when we get miner Mark IIs and it doubles the output of our miners, I'd basically just duplicate the empty side of the building and then Bob's your uncle and we're good. But in this case, I just don't like the idea of having a building that long. This is only half of the constructors that we're going to be building. So let's figure it out as we go. So this is not completely ad hoc, but we're figuring it out. We'll do everything that we can within the time that we got, but no guarantees. First things first, I'm going to want to establish the outer ring, right? So I'm just curious about the sizing here. I haven't really eyeballed, like with the assembler, that's about, you can see about one foundation wide-ish, right? So it's probably going to go a little bit over. So overall, maybe like back to back, if we had 3 of these and then 3 on the opposite side with a feed in the middle, then we'd occupy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 deep. You know, you'd have an assembler that's out maybe this way. You want some room to maneuver and have feeds and stuff. So then you'd have some room in the middle for the output, and then you'd have another here. Honestly, like we need to move the wall back even farther, right? So if the start of the wall is here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, almost this deep, which is kind of blowing my mind. I did not anticipate. I kind of kept the towers preset so that I wasn't wasting too much of your time. But in this case, I might have to bump the tower back even farther. I didn't really check the assembler yet, and look at that, it's going to intersect with our temporary sinking out there, so we'll have to deal with that when we get there. So maybe we'll just try the 5 deep and we'll go from there. If we have to extend, we'll just slap something on. Okay, we won't be perfect, that's expected. So let's just get the outer perimeter first. I guess we should probably put down some of the constructors just so that we know how long this is going to be. I guess we're gonna switch it over to like a 7 on one side and 7 on the other. We'll need some room, so we'll place one here and then we'll go off of this. So we'll go 2, 3, and 4, and then we'll go in this direction. 2, 3, and 4, and this is just for sizing's sake. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then on the opposite side, we'll leave one foundation in between and we'll flip it. So hold there and then we'll just nudge it. So if we're looking at it, there's a little bit overhang. Well, I guess that's where we were. Okay, fair enough. And essentially it'd be like this. And then the 14. So I'm pretty sure this is 4. Oh, no, not quite. Almost there. 14 constructors. Should see a space in the middle and space on the outsides, and then hopefully space to walk on either side of that, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the matching 7 on the other side based off of the status lights. So pretty good. And we do have space out here. We do have space all the way around. Pretty much the only one that I'm not sure of would be on the opposite side, and it looks like we do have exactly one space here, so that's great. So let's go ahead and just kind of pencil that in with the basic wall. The reason why I'm using the basic wall is just because it gives me a little more control as far as the height and where the foundations go. So I'm hoping that's going to be the difference. In the past, I've used the 4-meter basic wall, and then I've kind of been in a bit of a weird spot where ladders and stairs and, well, more like stairs aren't lining up, right? So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. And actually, I went a little too far. We can probably clear this last one, I think. Just if we're going half and half. And then in the future, for future proofing, not that that has to be future proofed, we can actually take this structure and then, oh yeah, we'll extend down this way. We can actually take this structure and just make it longer instead of doing one big long line. So we'll kind of do that. So this is the box that we're working with. Yeah, like so. There we go. Perfect. So now I want to feed the ore in from both of the long ends. If we want to come from the outside, we're going to need a little bit of extra space. So that's going to be out here. And then I think the entry point's going to be right here. So let's go and cut out this wall. And what we can do is place the, I think it's the conveyor wall, right? So single entry conveyor wall like this should be 4 high. And the constructors are just there, so we can actually remove the constructors. And then we'll kind of do the same thing over here, and we'll put a conveyor wall, single hole conveyor wall, and then put it right there. There we go. Awesome. Part of me wants them both to enter from the same side, but I was just thinking it might be more efficient for me to... I'm a little torn, because if I'm expanding in the future, then my thought is I want to make sure that they're both coming from one side so we can extend out the opposite direction. But I mean, it's not too hard to move the feet around. It's just all the guts inside that's going to be kind of annoying, but we'll see how that goes. We'll go ahead and bring the miner, and we'll get the miner to face out to the left like so. There we go. And then if we come out with the straight mode, we'll definitely want Mark II, because it's going to be 120 ore per minute. And then we'll run this on down, and essentially it'll connect right in there. There we go. So that's going to be one of the inputs, and we're going to have another input on the other side. God, I love straight mode. I love straight mode so much. Holy moly. Look at that. Wow. I mean, maybe I should give us a little more room, but that's fine. That's fine. It's the very minimum you're going to need while still being straight. That's so cool. So that's going to stack on up. And right now, in the bottom, we just have to be ready for the smelters above. So let's go in and build up the walls. And this is going to be our basement. Again, never really properly played with a basement. So I'm really curious how this is going to work. I hope it's going to be nice. Now, the idea of the basement, as I understand it, is that you do all your belt work down here. Well, it's above the ground, but, you know, we'll be standing up above this. And then you can cover it up so that it's cleaner and you actually have room to walk, right? So this is how tall our basement's going to be, so to speak. And then, oh, I forgot. We've got concrete now. Oh my gosh. So in order to save on plates, what we can do, go to builder, we'll go production, foundations, and we'll choose our foundations, and we'll choose concrete as the default. And I'm going to do the same here. And then that's going to allow us to build the concrete foundations. Now, the concrete foundations, I can actually change the material. So if you look in our inventory right now, we've got a 62 stack of iron plates, right? If I were to change the material of our fix-it foundation to concrete, like so, just like that, now we have 70. That's right. So we gained 2 each. So it's returning the iron plates. It's taking the difference between the materials needed for the fix-it foundation and the concrete foundation, which is just 2 concrete, and then returning the delta. So I think that is really, really, really amazing, because then you just need to bring a large stack, I mean, like many stacks of concrete around, which is kind of easier when, you know, only some things need concrete versus a lot of things needing plates, right? So we'll just go ahead and start with kind of getting a lot of our plates back, and this is going to be a more efficient building. Now, I have to admit, it is a little more difficult for me to gauge where the center is and, you know, how far away. You can kind of see that the concrete kind of blends together a little bit versus the Fix-It foundation, which has certain specific designs in it that look grippy, and it's easier to see where the edges are, etc. from afar. So this one's going to be a little bit harder to judge, but you know, it is what it is. We'll work with it. All right, so let's go in and extend this upwards. There we go. It's actually lined up, and we can say I'd like to make a 1 meter foundation that's in line with the top wall there. So I'm just going to place this down, and then we'll stand on top of it. And the idea is that you do all of your belt work down here, which actually makes me think the Fix-It foundation would be better because it's hidden, and we can, you know, see a little better when we're doing our belt work, but not too bad. So the smelters will be on the floor that I'm standing on, which is why I'm building it out just for reference sake. Yeah. So let's go ahead and bring this through, and then the nice thing is you can always open up the floor to the basement to do your work, but this allows us to place those smelters on top, and then we can perfectly line up exactly where everything needs to be. Man, I totally forgot that we unlocked it. We just unlocked it in the awesome shop, so I didn't even remember. So that's awesome. And this is technically the ground floor where all of our stuff's going to be, right? And then there's a big hole down below, and this is where all the belts go. It is a basement. It's dark and it's dank, and it is what it is. But you know what? It serves the purpose. Now, we don't really have a lot of lights, but fortunately we do have a flashlight, so definitely want to turn it on by hitting B, beta, right? And then we're just going to hop out. There is no door down here. There is no light down in the basement. And you would just, you know, when you're done, you can just kind of cover up the outside and paint it and make it look super cool. But right now, we'll just kind of stand on top and then place the smelters and then have a better understanding of what we're doing. Right now, my drawing, I have kind of 8 smelters going across with the feeds kind of meeting in the middle. So I'm thinking, let's find the middle here. We've got this tower, we might as well use it. We should probably paint the middle, if I'm perfectly honest. I don't even know how wide this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is the middle right there. So can I paint that a different color just for reference sake? So I'll kind of go like that. And now it looks a little bit different, right? So 4 on this side and then 4 on the opposite side. Great. And then we can take our smelters, right? So smelters, we're going to have 8 of them. So let's give them a little bit of space so they'll just actually be right here. Maybe we'll just start from one end of it. Each of these are a little more than half of a foundation. So maybe I'll just start from one end and then we won't go the whole way. So I'll kind of bring this out and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I don't like it being lopsided like that, if I'm perfectly honest, so I'm just going to center it more. Not that it's going to be perfectly centered, but it'll be more centered. And then I guess in the future, you can kind of flip them around and then have ones that mirror on this side, and that would work pretty well. Now, it makes me feel like I can get away with having the feeds from the same side. That would be more future-proof, I guess. So I'm really considering it right now. Maybe we should, because if you're gonna do it, now's the time to do it. All right, I've talked myself into it. The nice thing is the conveyor walls actually have different types of entrances. So if we cut off this conveyor belt right here and we cut out that, oops, I cut out the opposite wall. That's fine. We'll go walls, and there's a conveyor wall 2. So you can actually do this and put that right into place. And now there's 2 openings, and that works out very nicely. Now, if we were to, I guess, come in from that side, then we probably want to come in on the outside here. And what I mean is extend a little bit farther, and we'll give a little bit of space. So maybe we'll come out here. Force this belt to come out to the outside of the foundation. We'll go ahead and flip this around so it's facing this direction. Great. And we can middle mouse button to copy conveyor belt Mark II. And now we're going to line that up right next to each other. Yeah. Like so. There we go. So now they're coming together, but they're not merging together. And that's important because we only have Mark II belts. We don't have the ability to have all the material and ore on the exact same belt without bottlenecking ourselves. So let's go in and grab the same belt. And now we're just going to use straight mode again and route it to the closest one. And then we're going to get straight mode again. And we're route it to the second one. Oops. Just like that. High five. There we go. So we're actually going to do that straight down the middle. So great. Awesome. Love that. So now, if we open this up, we can actually get down into the basement. I'll definitely leave these open so that we can actually see a little better. And we're going to want to pass this stuff upwards, right? Go over to our architecture. And, oh, not architecture, logistics. There we go. Conveyor lift floor hole. And we'll place this down. Now, the thing to note is I did not include this in the to-do list. I didn't include a bunch of conveyor lift floor holes. So it's very possible I'll run out of materials. But the nice thing is we're not far away, right? And I'm actually really, really excited about unlocking the SAM, like the SAM deposits, just because from what I understand, that's going to allow us to push forward in the alien technology tree and the MAM research, and actually allow us to get a dimensional depot where essentially you can have, you know, your stuff from anywhere all the way at the base, and then you kind of have it access to it while you're building out here. And I think that's just so cool. That's really, really, really helpful. So what I can do now is make sure that we set all of these to iron ingots, because it's going to be all iron. So we're just going to go ahead and Control C what we set, and then Control V as we go by. So all of these are going to be set to iron ingot, like so. So if we look now, this one's iron ingot. That's great. And each is 30. We've got 8 smelters, so that's 240 ore that it can process and put out 240 iron ingots. And we've got 2 pure iron nodes on Mark II belts at 120 each. So 120 plus 120 is 240. So lines up. Perfect. We love it. Now, it's a matter of, I guess we'll want to put in the lifts. So what I mean by that, I'm glad I have the blade runners allowing us to jump that high. We hit 5, and since it's 30, we're on default mode. One thing I learned from the bunnies is that if you're doing this, you can point at the conveyor lift hole and then click, and then you can rotate after you click, but we're on the right direction. And we can click again to confirm. And you've noticed you've only placed down half, right? So I used to come all the way down and then put down the bottom part of it like this, but you don't have to do that. You can actually do all of one side first, and the game will recall or know that there's the other half can be placed separately. Just to make it more efficient, I'm just going to go ahead and double click, which is just place and confirm, place and confirm, place and confirm. And there we go. We've got 8 tops, but we have 0 bottoms, right? Well, that's not helpful. You're not really going to be passing anything up. And if we were to get this, I'm curious where this runs. I have no idea. So I'm just going to switch back to default mode, and we're just going to run a long line like so. It's a little bit off. Okay, fair enough. So now I'm going to go back to conveyor lift. As long as it's the same lift Mark 1 like it was, then I'm just going to place the bottoms on. Now, I could just keep doing this, but I kind of want to test the first one first. So what I'm thinking is splitter. I'm going to put a splitter on it, and I think that this is going to line up. So conveyor belt Mark II, go straight in. Is that straight? It is straight. Excellent. So that's great. So that means that we can now take the bottom half. So we'll go conveyor lift Mark 1, and we'll just place it like we did. So facing in this direction towards me, towards the, I guess you want to call it the back of the building. And now we've got 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I missed one. So middle mouse click to copy. And there's our 8. High five. So now it's just a matter of getting 4 of these splitters. We just want to make sure that the direction is correct. So we've got our orange arrow. We can use the mouse wheel to rotate it around, and we'll put the orange arrow from the right. So it's going to pass that in. Now, 120 iron ore is coming down this belt. So really, we'll want to make sure we're using the same belt Mark II going between each of the splitters. But now we've got another belt. So this basically will be 30, plus 30 is 60, plus 30 is 90, plus 30 is 120. Now we've consumed all of the ore. So we don't want to just keep passing it down. We want to start to take the next one, right? So if we make sure we've got our belt Mark II and we run this through, we're just going to come in parallel and we'll just place something here. Now we'll go ahead and have the second set of splitters, but I'm actually going to have the entrance be from here. So you'll notice the arrow is orange. It's coming in from this side, and then I'm going to flip it back and then continue on from the right like that. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to now move this feed into it. So I'm actually going to switch to straight, but it's already straight. That's great. So now we're going to load the next 4, so 30, 60, 90, 120 iron ore. So it's just a matter of belt Mark II in default mode, and we're just going to connect these from right to left, which honestly is just a double click because it's so close together, the game knows. So there you go. So right now, if we were to turn on both of the miners, it's going to feed this ore in and it's going to saturate these smelters. So already off to a good start. I really dig this. So now we've got our outputs, right? So we're going to have 240 iron ingots because we had 240 iron ore coming in. We got a lot of extra space, and that's just because in the future we can take a smelter and essentially we'll mirror it on the opposite side. So it'll be something like that, and then you have the hole, and then it'll be feeding both ways. So we're leaving the space for the future. Again, I don't know if I'll use it, but we're trying new things. We're trying to think ahead. Not that you have to, because honestly, I'll probably end up, you know, changing a lot of this stuff over and over and over. We'll just close out the old belt. I'm pretty sure that's all of it. Yep, perfect. And then we'll just build this back up. Great. Fantastic. So now we're up. I guess we should extend the wall even higher. So we're prepping for the next basement. So each one of these floors has a hidden basement between the next floor. I think the big thing to find out, and we're going to try to move in sets of 4 with those 1 meter basic walls, just because if we don't do that, then all of these stairs and rampways and stuff, they don't really line up very well. And what I mean is, just as a demonstration, if we go over to architecture and we go over to catwalk stairs as an example, if you try to snap it like, let's say that, you'll notice it comes up exactly 4 meters, right? So if we had, let's say, only 3 1 meter basic walls, it would have weird overhangs and stuff like that. So we're just trying to keep that in mind for the future. This is going to get very tall. So let's do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the 1 meters. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4. All black is not the best. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4. So as a test, if we put this above and then we get another one right here, does this... See, it starts to cut into the smelter. So the smelter's pretty tall. So we're actually going to need to take maybe this as the base of the basement. Oh my god, that's going to... This building's going to be tall. Maybe I haven't thought this through. This is going to take a billion years. So again, this is just me playing. I don't know if this is a good idea, but it's what I'm doing. So... Oh, what have I done? See, this is why I've been scared, because I'm recording this and the more that I get wrong here, the more I have to edit, and I can imagine how much I'm going to get wrong, but it's all right. I'm going to try to edit as little as possible. So mostly for just complete flubs and flow issues. All right, there we go. Throw that on out there. Here we go. So this is the next basement. So the question is, how do we get inside, right? How do we get inside? Well, I guess for now, what we could do is get our catwalk stairs. And I'm just going to... Oh, there we go. Let's just do that for now. And we'll come up to, which is going to take us where? Here? Well, if I want to get in on the smelter floor, then chances are I'm going to want a flat here. So what I'm talking about is the catwalk T-junction with the rail on the left side. And then this is, oops, hello, not me submerged in it. And then I would basically open up a wall and put a door wall, right? So I would do something like wall, door, side door wall, so it's to the side, and then flip it like this. And then now we would essentially walk up and step inside. There we go. Great. Awesome. Yay. High five. We did something great. So we can get our stairs again, and this time we'll snap to the previous, and we can just continue upwards, and now we are at the next level. So we'll just get the old one. God, I love the blue and the black. It's so gorgeous. It's very, I don't know. I mean, not that I'm feeling it, but I mean, like, it's kind of like royal blue or something. It's so nice. Holy moly. So that's taken us up, and I guess we'll just kind of continue this pattern until we have to turn it around, and then we'll start moving the stair the opposite direction. Or we've got stairs coming up the opposite entirely, right? So this at least allows us to traverse the different floors while we're building. That's great. Okay, because we don't have a jetpack or anything yet. In the meantime, let's just make sure that we've got not a bunch of floor Z fighting. So you can kind of get a sense already that about how clean this might look, just because when we look at the smelters, there's a lot of, I almost don't think I need to have the basement for the smelters if I wanted to make this a little tighter, but this is a good exercise. So when we only see this part, this is basically what this factory floor looks like. That's it. Isn't that awesome? So then you'd have another set and you can walk down the middle like it's some type of walkway, right? So that's really, really cool. And then you can even manage and maintain things on this side. So obviously we're going to pipe these up and then merge them together. So let's go out of the door and let's open up one of the floors. So maybe the one on the edge, like maybe one that's relevant. Maybe a relevant floor, please. Okay, there we go. That's actually relevant. Okay, great. So I'm thinking, since this is a basement, all we got to do is do the floor hole thing again, right? So what's the best way to do this? I mean, nice thing is we can kind of say it's coming out at 30 in, 30 ingots out. So we can be in default mode. If we hit R, it toggles to reverse. We're just checking we're in default. Conveyor lift Mark 1 handles 60 at a time. And then we'll just go ahead and bring these up like that. There we go. Awesome. And that's going to allow us to then cover it up and put a conveyor floor hole. So I'm just going to place it, hit hold, and I think if I do it like that, is that right? Nope, that's wrong. I guess like tick it like this. So if I put this hole here and I get rid of the conveyor lift Mark 1, now if I go like this and then go down below, does that should line up, right? So we can actually go 5, select the bottom of the hole, bring it down, and there we go. High five. Perfect. Awesome. I dig that. So now it's a little bit easier. We can just stand in front of the output and put it up there and try to line it up with the existing hole on the right. Nice thing is it's not too difficult, even though I'm rotating things all over the place. Excellent. I mean, I guess so mind you, someone who's used to building like this will be much better at this than I am. So they're probably thinking, my gosh, I wouldn't need to do any of this. And it's probably true, but I do. I do. So we're going to go in and raise that. Oh, hello. Actually, no, we're going to take from the hole. You want to select the hole as I understand it. Oh, nope. Well, let's... Is that right? That looked like that was a green arrow. We'll tell you what. I'm going to maybe do the tops first. Just double click. One to place, second to confirm. And now we've got all the conveyor lift Mark 1 tops. So those are all ingots coming up to the next basement, right? And then we'll head on down and we're just going to finish them up. So this should be, yep, orange arrow. That's what I like to see. Orange arrow is your input. Green is your output. Excellent. I love it when everything snaps. It's one of my favorite things of Satisfactory. It's very, well, satisfactory. Okay, great. So now the entirety of this floor is a little bit sparse, but you've got, if we open up the bottom, you've got your 2 different conveyors coming in through the basement. Then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 from this miner out here, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 coming from this miner right there, right? So because they're moving in parallel, so we're sort of done-ish here, except we do need power. So I'm just going to pre-plate. Well, I think we'll do the wiring. Should we do the wiring now? Yeah, I guess we'll do the wiring now. So I'll go to power, I'll go to wall outlet. Now wall outlets can actually go on the ceiling as well. That blew my mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stand dead center with the machine, and then I'm going to place it right on, I mean, it doesn't matter exactly where. I'm just going to put it on this actual line on the foundation just because it's easier for me to spot. And then that way I know I'm putting them in line with each other. Excellent. So then we switch over to our power line. I'm going to connect each of them together. So it's 1 per. Now you could have just 1 per 2, but I don't want to think. And it gives me more options in the future, right? And we could hide them, but I'm already stretching myself pretty thinly. So with all of these newfangled inventions, you can just bring it straight down to the machine. It'll go right to the click point, which is just amazing. Oh, look at that. And there it is. Great. So now the power is probably going to come from the outside here. So we probably want some type of input. So let's just get, I mean, I guess we'll get our wall here. We'll just put up the basic wall like so. And we will bring that all the way up. Nice thing is we've got, in addition to the wall outlet, we've actually got our double wall outlet. So what that means is that it's got a plug on both sides of the surface that it has been placed on. So we'll just stand in line with the line of our outlets. We'll go in and select double wall outlet, and I'm just going to turn around super scientific and put it up high. You can kind of clip it into the next layer, but I'm just going to connect that straight across. So now it looks like that. Take a look at that. And guess what? There is an outlet on the outside. So this is going to be our power right here, right? So I'm actually going to go ahead and, just so I don't lose it, I'm going to color it as just a different color right now. So we'll color that blue so that we can actually see it, and when it's time we can connect it like that, and you should see that the lights go yellow. See, so they're actually receiving power, they just don't have anything to process, and they're all set with a recipe. So we'll just dismantle that for now, and now they are all red. High five. So this is great. So we got our conveyors coming in. It's just a matter of, we've got poles in place to hook up the miner, so that's great. We've got 1 point of entry right here for all of our cables, so this is phenomenal. So that means if we ever need to turn it on and off with a switch in the future, we can. So looking good. Let's go on up. So we got all these ingots. Fortunately, ingots are all the same product, so we can go ahead and merge these on. But what we're going to want to do, I would imagine, is make sure that we can see our next floor as well. So let's just place that there, and that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we'll choose the 1 meter and make sure that we're in line, and we'll get right on top. So this is the beginning of our next floor. So how are our resources doing? You can see that we had 3 stacks of concrete. Glad that we improved our concrete production, because my gosh, we're gonna need it. Went a little too far. Just erase it there. It's like working in pencil. That was actually something in elementary school, middle school, high school, didn't matter. And in schooling in general, I remember there were other students that would work with pen. I couldn't do it. I got so used to working with pencil, and it scared me to work in pen because it felt so permanent. You know what I mean? So I feel like this whole world is kind of the best combination of both at the same time. And what I'm talking about is the fact that we're able to kind of get away with writing in pen, but erasing like a freaking eraser. Now, or like pencil, right? And one of the crazy things is there's pen that's like erasable pen, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem to work as well for me. Or maybe that's just me, right? We will definitely need more concrete, that's for sure. So we made the floor. We'll go in and open up one of the holes and we can see down below, right? So we're going to have our constructors on this. This is the big one. This is the biggest one by far. We're going to place down 14 of these bad boys. We've got our one foundation room and we've got our one foundation room there to start. And that's just what I'm going to go with. And we'll check the butt. The butt's actually most critical because in the future, you know, we're going to have some on each side and I want to make sure that we've got enough space on either. So we'll just go like this. Here we go. And then we'll go in and place the mirrored opposite. So we'll go in and hold right there. And there it is. Yep, we got enough space. Great. So now it's easy enough. We can just flip that around so the inputs are the same. Orange on the same side. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we'll just race down and do the same. And I'm just holding control at the same time when I'm clicking, so it snaps right next to each other. The blue line designates that the centers of each of the machines are in alignment, so that's great, especially because they are the same exact machine, and we should have exactly 14. Perfect. So we got 14 constructors. High five. There we go. So that's phenomenal. Now, if we open up, well, actually, before we do that, all of our ingots have to come together. So let's actually move the ingots down this way and then we'll flow the ingots towards us, yeah? So we're gonna go with merge, I believe. So I one of the bunnies taught me this when I was playing early access, and I gotta say it's so awesome. So if I select my default splitter, then and I hit E, it cycles through all of the options on that tier. What I mean is, if we go over to build and then we go over to sorting, you'll see that I only have 2 things under sorting. So it's going to cycle through these 2 over and over. If I select a conveyor pole with, in this case, I have it shortcutted to 4, then it's going to bring up that conveyor pole. I can go E, E, and it goes back, right? Because there were 3 there. Make sense? So it's really cool because then we can just do conveyor splitter and then hit E just like that. I love, God, the UI. Here I am waxing all poetical about how awesome this is. I've actually seen some where, oh, actually, you know what? I'm just going to change the facing. So we had it all facing right to left, but then the last one I want the green arrow to point out towards me because I want to center the flow of ingots. Yeah, you know, I probably could have gotten away with mounting this on the ceiling itself, but you know what? I want to try basements, so it's part of the experiment. This is training for me. That's what it is. It's training for me. This is in the middle. Is that right? This is in the middle, so we'll go ahead and erase another one, and then we'll erase another one just so that we have an idea. And here we go. Okay, so we've got some on both sides, so we definitely want to bring this out and then round the corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and say mark. Oh no, wait a minute, hold up. So right now we got a little bit of an issue because our belts only hold up to 120 per minute. That's the throughput, right? So if we have 240 ingots and we're passing them all down, they're gonna start stunting each other, right? So that's a big problem. So actually we're gonna have to do the whole 4 and 4 thing. So what I'm gonna do is we're going to take these 4 off because we're going to have to change direction. These are fine. And we're going to go belt mark 2, right to left, right to left, right to left. And then we're going to have 1 coming out like that. And that's essentially the flow, right? And then we're going to have more mergers. And then we're going to have them face over to the right, to the right, to the right. And then 1 with a green arrow coming out. Yeah. And then we're just going to do the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we don't need a connection between these 2 because it's a completely separate belt. And we'll go belt mark 2 left to right. We'll go left to right, left to right, and then this is basically going to come out like that. Yeah, makes sense. I'm kind of thinking I should probably just color code the left and the right, maybe like red and blue. I don't know. So we'll go, well, red I use for syncing things out, so maybe not. Maybe we'll do, it doesn't matter. We can just do yellow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then those will be the standard color, right? So those yellow ones are a part of which machines, which smelters, right? They're part of these, so we can actually color code them. I think I use this one, right? Yeah. So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we know that these are part of the same series because we have throughput issues otherwise. And really the one that is passing all the way through is this one. So we're going to want to make sure that we're yellow on this as well, so that if we're troubleshooting in the future, then we have some way of telling what's what, right? There we go. So all of these are the yellow ones. And then if I understand correctly, this should actually be just open a hole. Why not, right? We'll go ahead and select the same color, and it should be the farther minor, right? Yep. And it's going to be that one. There we go. So that's the yellow one, and that's the standard one. I love the whole middle mouse click thing. I remember when I was doing base building in Subnautica. I love Subnautica. It's one of my favorite games now. Bunny's introduced it to me. I absolutely love it. And I love the base building there. But I gotta say, I played Subnautica while I was playing Satisfactory, and I got so used to the Satisfactory quality of life building things, and it was hard. It was so hard to build in Subnautica after that. I got spoiled. What can I say? Okay, so actually, now that I'm looking at it, if we were to branch this out here, you can see that I kind of want to come in from the outside. So I really want to change the direction here of the merger. So I'm just going to hit middle mouse and then have the green arrow point to the left. There we go. Great. And I just noticed that these right here should probably also match with all of their belts. Perfect. We've got our Mark II. I'm going to put it to straight mode so it has right angles, and we're going to come down and around. We'll just stop like right here, but we want a little room to walk, so we'll have it centered here and just compare. Perfect. So it's on the outside and of this constructor, and it will come in. That's great. And we'll definitely want to do something similar out here as well, because this one actually... Oh, yep. No, that's fine. That's fine. I was worried that I had not left space. So the merger is going to point to the right side. There we go. Great. I might have to build this again on the other one as well. So I might as well do it now. So we'll go Mark II. We're on straight mode. That's great. And there's the first constructor, and we will come right down in the middle. Let's hold for a second and nudge her. Actually, no need. There we go. Perfect. Before it enters, this is the magical center line that passes everything upwards. Okay, great. Awesome. We're going to get our splitters and make sure that they're in alignment. So we'll go 8 for my shortcut, and we'll be right dead center. We'll hold and just make sure that we are in alignment. Great. And in theory, we should be able to say default mode, conveyor lift Mark 1, that goes up, and flip it around. Does that? I don't think that works. I don't know if that works. Something tells me it doesn't. That might be a little too close. I guess we'll find out. We should really pass something through here. So maybe we might have to start this up just to see if that'll actually flow. Gosh, I might have needed more room. I might have needed more room. So this is good that we figured this out now. I mean, although it's honestly easier to nudge them both, one nudge over to the right, even though I have to dismantle and put them all together again. So I think I'm going to do that because, yeah, that's a little too tight even for me. So I have no idea if that's actually going to work. So we've got our regular placement. We'll flip that around with control. We'll hold and we'll nudge it one bump over to the right. We're going to do the same here. We're just going to go ahead and hit control, flip that around. So now it's locked to the next one, and then we'll one bump to the left, and then we will dismantle all of the other constructors and then place them down one nudge over. One thing I actually learned from the bunny is you can kind of hard select. So if I hit F to go into dismantle mode, I can hit G on PC, and now dismantle filter is constructor. So if I hold control, it allows me to select a bunch of stuff to dismantle at once, but it's only allowing me to select constructors. Isn't that cool? So that's super great when you're doing stuff from afar, or you're just doing a lot of stuff and you don't want to accidentally delete your whole building, because that would just be such a pain. So now we'll just go face the right way, and then we just control. So that's 3, that's 4, and 7. Phenomenal. High five. There we go. Okay, so now hopefully it's going to line up a little bit better. We're just going to go ahead and place the lift, and it should... See, I'm more comfortable with this. Maybe the other one would have worked, but I'm more comfortable with this. So let's just go in and patch this up right here. And we will go with the conveyor lift floor hole. And we'll just get it right here and just nudge her over. Hang tight. Then we'll delete that. And now we'll just place all the holes. So we'll just be in line with that one, right? Not too shabby. I love that you can see it. It adjusts to the, I guess, thickness of the foundation. So if you had a really thick one, it would actually be really, really wide, right? Or really, really deep. So that's looking in alignment. That's great. And then we'll go in and do something similar on the opposite, like so. And then we'll just patch that up again. Okay, so let's go and actually place the tops, right? So we've got double click, 3, 4, 5, and 14. Now, mind you, that's all taking iron plates. So I'm very, very happy that we were able to actually, you know, use concrete foundations, which gave us more plates back. Not that we couldn't just go and get some more, but really, really great, right? So now we should be able to get our splitters, and we'll just put it in alignment with the holes. So we're holding control, and as long as we see that moving line, then we know it's in alignment with the other splitter. And so then we just stand and look at that. God, it's... there's something meditative about this, I swear. There's something just beautifully meditative. Oh, look at that. I forgot. I have to come in from the opposite side, so these 4 need to be facing the other way. So that's fine. We'll just do the same thing, but it's coming from the right. 3 and 4. There it is. And then I'll just make sure that I'm painting these in the correct color. 3. Oh, hello. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, okay. Okay. Thinking about it right now. So you see what the problem is. We've got 7. Well, tell you what. So there's 7 rows of constructors, but we need to split it perfectly in half. Maybe the middle one needs to be a merger of somehow. We'll figure it out. So what I'm going to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and get rid of the middle one. And then we'll just run this blindly. And then we'll just go from there. So conveyor belt mark 2, that's already feeding in. Great. And then we'll just put on the bottoms. Oops, hello. See, it's actually hard to move once the belts are down because I can't get in. So that's fine. Fortunately, it's just snapping it together. And we'll do a little bit of the same. There we go. Getting ahead of myself. See, now my mind is spinning about that one, but we'll figure that out. You got to believe in yourself, right? We got to believe in ourselves that we can figure it out. But I didn't plan this, and I'm doing it all together now. There we go. 2 and 3. And then we'll get on the opposite. 2 and 3. Okay, so now we've got the one in the middle. What do we do with this? So we've got ore coming in from the right and we've got ore coming in from the left, it almost feels like we need to bring them together because the excess is going to be... It's like we get half from this side and half from that side. 120 coming out. It's being split, 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 and then one half of it's going to go that way. Oh, okay. So instead of merging it, what if we take this conveyor lift right here and we face it like that? And then we take this one and we face it like that. So they're opposite to each other, right? We won't have a splitter or anything like that. So essentially we would take this conveyor belt Mark II in straight mode and just zigzag it out and then zigzag out like that. And then it allows us to keep the same setup. I think that solves the issue. So we can kind of think that one through when we're done, but essentially we have been out and we stop right at the midpoint. So midpoint between, I think it was right here, and then bring her on through. Missing reinforced iron plates. We're short on iron plates. Okay, reinforced iron plates. Well, you know, yeah, this is a big job. It's a big job, but you can kind of see what we've done, right? So essentially, you've got 120 ingots coming through, and then we'll color this. So here's that side's worth of that miner's controlling this side. And then the other side, so we basically got 7, right? So 120, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it's only feeding the other half to here. And then so that way they're supplying both the same amount, right? Now we need more plates. We need more reinforced iron plates. Us doing this was to make reinforced iron plates. We are so close. Those are the constructors up there that would essentially make the bit before the reinforced iron plates. So unfortunately, we do have to take a pause and craft some things. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to close this out and let's go ahead and get the basic materials first, and then we'll go from there. Right now, we're about halfway done with the buildings. So how tall? Very tall. It's going to be very tall. Now, mind you, there's a lot of wasted space. We've got a lot of wasted space, so it's not like, you know, it's not like we couldn't save space elsewhere, but it does look like we can walk around pretty easily, right? Right? Can we just all agree there's enough space to walk? Maybe a little too much, but we were trying to anticipate the minor Mark IIs. And honestly, I cannot wait. I absolutely cannot wait until we unlock the next, like, phase 1 for the space elevator, because that's going to mean that we can actually finally get into tier 3, where I think, if things haven't changed, I think that's where coal is. And that's going to be so great to not have to think. Like right now, I really want to check, and I'm going to swing on by. I'm just going to check. Is there any... we're running out of biofuel, right? So it's almost like there's a clock on us. Ooh, I actually have some grass. I can extend the timer a little bit, right? So we'll go grass, and then we'll go wood, and that should flow right in and make the biomass. Look at that. Look at her go. So that'll flow through, and it'll supply these things for our 340 megawatt. Okay, great. Concrete, we definitely need more of. We've been using our concrete foundations to good effect. And actually, if we take a bit of a break here, we can actually do this and replace this with something that looks a little bit nicer. And what I mean is we'll go to foundation, and we're going to use the double ramp at 4. Well, actually, I think it's going to be 8 meter. If I'm perfectly honest. We'll flip that, and voila, there we go. So it doesn't have the weird triangle stuff. It actually looks like a straight beam at an angle, which is great. I'm going to grab 4 stacks of this stuff instead of my regular 3. And now we're cooking with fire. You know, I still haven't used these towers. I feel bad. I feel really bad. Well, let's get on up, and then we'll just hop on over and at least use it that way. There we go. And then we'll just kind of try to drop down. There it is. Perfect. So we just middle mouse click, conveyor belt Mark II straight, and that's it. There we go. We're all wired up. Perfect. Excellent. All right. So let's try and raise the stairs a little bit. Yeah. So we don't need all of this. And that actually lines up. Look at that. See? Oh my gosh. God. It's sort of kind of coming together, I feel. And I'm so pleased with it. Excellent. So there we go. So now we're on the constructor floor. It almost makes me I wanna like come out and then have the entrance be perfectly lined up with the hall, like this middle aisle that you walk down. But let's not get too crazy here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and raise up the wall so that we can actually wire these things up. I don't know how high this is going to need to be, but let's try and count in fours. 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. How high is that? Fortunately, with the Blade Runners... Oh, never mind. I was going to say we can just hop right up in 2 bounds, but that's a negatory. Now, if we grab this and check the next floor, are we occluding? That's the question. So I'm going to get up on the next basement. And we are poking through. So I am going to want to raise it another set of 4. So I'm going to cut that out. And we're going to go up another 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sets of 4. Sets of 4. And they just keep getting taller, these machines, I swear. And then we're going to pass the wires over, right? So now, I guess this is a not now problem, but how do we get the stairs to go up? I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I might have to go around the building and start climbing. Is that how that works? I've never done this before, so sure. That seems like a not horribly inelegant solution. Just wrap the stairs around the building. Why not? I mean, that seems to make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to you? We just need a catwalk corner for the first time. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and start climbing with the stairs. And up we go. One more. Wow. This tells you how tall that floor is. And we're just going to extend that through. There we go. High five. High five. Or grab one of the single railing segments here for the catwalks. Excellent. And in. So now we're on the floor above. This is the center lane, so I don't want to cover up the whole thing. Okay, so now we'll hop on down and we're going to place the plugs. So we're going to want power, wall outlet, and we're just going to center ourselves and arbitrarily choose this section of the foundation. Nice thing is, it generally lines up with the squares, so that's actually really cool. My OCD is very happy with this right now. Great. And then, oh my, what happened here? What happened here? Mon Dieu. What is this? Oh, it's horrible. What has occurred? Some real issues here. Oh my gosh. Well, that's a no-go. Well, get a new hole here. And we're going to place that in. And what is going on down below? Oh my. Wow. So apparently the other machine is not even attached. Okay, cool. It's not even attached. I mean, part of me is glad that it's not attached. I'd be very afraid if it were attached. So we'll get our splitter right here, orange from this side, and let's hold. So what do we got? Line it up. That one needed a little bit more manual love. Belt Mark II. Pass that through. We got Belt Mark II in straight mode. Pass that through. And now we've got our 5. Conveyor Lift Mark I. I'm actually gonna, just so we can get on the outside here, put that back. Yeah, this one's not as easy to maneuver in, right? Perfect. All right, let's go back up above. Oh, I don't have a jetpack. I'm so used to having a jetpack. I forgot I don't have it yet. That was terrifying. I thought for a moment I might break my legs, but then I totally forgot that we've got Blade Runners, baby. There we go. All right. Everything's looking sort of swell. Glad we have it. Excellent. All right. I think those are connected, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. All right. So let's continue. Let's get wiring. So we're just gonna do the same thing. We'll wire them up across, and then all we have to do is figure out how to wire it between floors. Now we can do it along the walls, which is easy enough. We could do it on the outside, which I've done before, but it just kind of looks kind of weird. As in, meaning you do a double wall outlet on the actual wall, and you got multiple plugs on the outside, and like a toy, you'll run a cable from one floor to the next on the outside of the factory, but that's just odd. It's a little bit odd. It does, in fact, look kind of janky, but you know what? We're going to try to do it at least the semi-posh way by just having it inside of the building, right? So now we'll hook up the machines to their plugs, and the meditation continues. We feel so centered right now. I feel like I'm believing this is going to work. You just gotta believe. Excellent. All right, so where's our existing plug? Right now we got a plug down there. I kind of feel like I should probably open up the floor a little bit, and we'll open the floor again, and you can see there is a cable. Now we'll probably want to pass the wall up like so. Not enough yet, but yeah, we'll pass that a little bit higher, and then we just need to get a double. Well, not a double, we want a single, otherwise it's going to go on the outside, and that's a little odd. So we want it in line with that center, and we'll pop that over, and then we'll get the wire up. Now we can do something like put in a double wall, and what that means is there's like a, you know, you could do shenanigans and put another wall right here to hide the actual cables, but I'm like I said, I'm gonna leave this whole building open like this right now, so it's fine. Now we could have a matching plug on this side, as in, yeah, I think I will do that. So we'll hook that up to that lane, and then we're gonna grab this, and then we're just gonna run this across like that, and that's how that's gonna all connect. So this is all wired up now. This is all wired up power wise. We just gotta set the recipes, right? So first things first, we need cast screw. I'm gonna need 7 of these. Go figure. Everything needs a lot of screws, so we're gonna go cut and paste down this entire lane. Oops. I almost fell down. We'll copy, we'll paste, double check. Yep, screws. And cast screw is great because you don't need the rods. You just have the iron ingots. We were able to pick up the alternate recipe the other day, and it's so great. We're gonna need, I think, 3 machines for rods. So these are gonna need to be iron rods. I'm just gonna select them. And then the other one's gonna need to be iron plates. So there we go, iron plates. Perfect. Excellent. So now they're all wired up. I guess this is where I really wish I had signs, but I don't. So right now we know that these are all, the other side's all screws. Let's have different colors. I'm gonna go with this, I don't know, like a, what is this, an olive green look for the plates. And then for now, just so they look different, we're gonna go with this like orange white for the rods. How about that? So these are, I'm curious, if I paint the tops of the lift, does it actually paint the bottoms too? I have no clue. I guess we'll find out, because I am going to look down below, because I want to make sure that we can, there's continuity between it all. Looks like it doesn't paint the bottoms. That side is swatch 6, so we'll go swatch 6 like so. And then these are all plates, so we're going to want swatch 3 here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Great. Now the outputs themselves, these are the different ones. I mean, honestly, we're just going to pass them on up. I'm assuming the outputs, yeah, 15. For the plates, I think it's 20. And then for the screws, I think it's under 60. It's 50. So we can get away with the Mark 1s. So the screws are easiest. We'll just pass it all the way up. And let's go to the next floor, and then we'll just kind of figure out the whole hole situation. Conveyor lift floor hole. Perfect. Right there. And then we'll drop that out. Awesome. So this is going to be our basement. I think these all line up with the squares. I think. They do. They do. That's great. So I'm just gonna do that. That makes me very happy. Double check. Is there even a lift here? There is. Okay, excellent. 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 Wow. That was so much nicer. I don't know if it's going to be as nice on this side. Let's see if they're going to be difficult. And these are the non-screws, but it looks like they might line up. Oh my gosh. I think I'm going to cry. High five. That's so good. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Ugh. 6. I did not plan that, by the way, but that makes me very, very happy. Holy moly. That's amazeballs. All right. We'll just stick the toppers on and bring it in. Part of me wants to put it on the outside, but I think the assemblers are not going to take up this much room. So I think we're generally okay. And then we're just going to go in and put in standard bottoms, and then we'll color them appropriately. I have no idea if this is going to work as soon as we turn it on, but I'm very excited to find out. I have a feeling we might have a power shortage, which is going to be funny because we'll turn it on and then all of a sudden it goes boom. But hey, that's fine. It's not like I can't just add more burners. That's not a hard problem to solve. So then now we just need to make sure they're the right swatch, at least for now. And then this one's going to be swatch 3, which is honestly very, very subtle. So I don't know if it stands out enough, but oh well. Well, we can always change it in the future. It's just for now, at least. Swatch 6, 1, 2, 3, and then swatch 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Perfect. Great. All right, let's button her up. High five. Excellent. So this is the final basement. This is the basement where it all happens. This is where we pass things up to the assembler. Now we need to know where the assemblers are. So I'm going to go ahead and build up to the very final floor. This is super exciting. 4. And then we're going to get our foundation 1. Pass that across. Now, where are the stairs? So we'll just get our stairs and pass it up 1. Great. And then we'll get our railing. Cut that out. And there we go. Awesome. Okay. So this is going to be our assembler floor where we get reinforced iron plates and we get rotors. So we're going to need 5 assemblers, but we're going to set them up as if they're like a set of 6. So we're going to be feeding from the center. It's just a matter of all of the assemblers are going to need screws. 3 are going to need iron plates, and then 2 of them are going to need the rods. Oh, almost there. How are we doing on this side? Yep, that's good. No overhang. All the way out here. Oh, nope, not quite there yet. Maybe like a couple. Is that right? Perfect. And here is our assembler floor. So this is where the magic happens. This is very exciting. So let's go ahead and cut out a few choice holes here. Or maybe 1. And now the screws, right? So assemblers. We'll just start with maybe they can be on the inside. Ooh, wow. They are a lot longer. They're a lot longer. So we might have some overhang. Look at that. Maybe we'll kind of have like it's going to stick out a little bit. I'm not too sure how this is going to go. Maybe we've got room to have 6 going all the way across on their own. Let's check that out, actually. Let's check that out. So what I mean is, if we give ourselves half a tile of room, and we actually pull this back from the edge so that we have half a tile of space, like this, can we fit 5 across? Just straight up 5 across. It looks like we can, right? And we even have room for the 6th. That's great, because I wanted to pretend like we had 6 at some point. So again, we're short on the reinforced iron plates, but it's going to be a screw thing because it's always a screw thing. Did I put more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, we have enough. We have enough assemblers right now. Oh, okay. This is if we were to build a 6th. Oh, okay, so that is the 6th. Oh my gosh. Well, I can afford to nudge her over a couple because we only gave ourselves a half. So, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. And we'll give ourselves the full room. Oh my gosh, it's tilting down. So we'll just bump her back to half space on this side. And we'll give ourselves a full tile on that side. And bring her through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect, perfect. In the hidden basement below, it is actually, you know, it's going to be it's not symmetrical, right? It's not going to be symmetrical. I know. It hurts me too, but you know, it is what it is. So what we've got, these are all the screws. Okay, we're going to be passing 350 screws per minute. So we're going to have to do some shenanigans again. Of course. So let's see, it's 50 per. So 2 of these is 100, 2 of those is 100, 2 of those is 100, and then we got another one for 50. All right, and so one of them is 150. Honestly, we can only just merge the 2, right? So since it's 50 out, we'll need a merger of some kind. Wow, glad we're thinking about this. I mean, I guess we could do this. Splitter. We could put the merger here and then have it come out. So essentially that's a... I'm just going to use belt mark 2s. And then we'll just have a little bit of a tongue so that I know that it's coming out on that side. So we'll have a merger out here. And this one is going to be a splitter. That's going to allow our belt mark 2 to come in. And then we'll have a little tongue hanging out. Splitter, merger, and oh, iron plates. Yes. Iron plates. This makes me want to go and find more drop pods just so that I can get the plates. Because, my gosh, we burned through so many. Go up, and we can say that this is going to be a reinforced iron plate one. Right here, we're going to need 60 screw. Reinforced iron plate. Reinforced iron plate. And then this one's going to be the rotor. And this one's going to be a rotor. So essentially we've got 2 rotor ones and we've got 3 reinforced iron plate ones, and that's just great. We're going to belt mark 2. That's the tongue. We'll bring that over and out. Now, this is 100. That's 150. I mean, honestly, I can't see. We don't have a belt mark 3, so it's pretty much just this, you know? Like, it's just going to come out just like that. So those are our screws. So we got to get those screws up into all of the assemblers in a way that isn't shenanigans. Let's call the left ones the screw holes. Yeah. So I think it's 60 per minute, right? So this one's 100 screws per minute for rotors. Okay, well that makes a lot of sense. Well, tell you what, I'm actually going to change this around, and the reason why I'm doing it, so I'm just going to say that these 2 are rotors. Copy, paste. That's rotor. And then this one is reinforced iron plate, so we paste. And then we're going to paste on that one. And the reason why I'm doing that is just because, guess what? Each of these are 50 screws, so that's one rotor machine and that's another rotor machine. And that works out really, really nicely. So that's perfect. So we'll just kind of get this. It has to be a Mark II lift, and we're just going to bring it down and flip her like so. And then essentially we would, well, I guess it's, is that right? No, it isn't. Okay, so that's going to feed in there. So let's just do it haphazardly right now, and we'll just slam that out there. Ugh, see, don't have enough reinforced iron plates. I'm just going to belt mark 1, and I'm just going to color this. Right now it's a logistical thing, so I'm just going to color it red. Like, that needs to be replaced. That one has to be a Mark 2. And then we're going to go ahead and drop in a Mark 2 lift, like so. And then we're going to belt Mark 1 into it, and I'm just going to color this, right? This is only worth 50 right here, and we need 60 per minute across 3. So we've got 50, 50, 50, that's 150, and then we've got 100 screws. And how much? Oh my gosh, I might have miscalculated. I think I might have miscalculated. Oh well. The nice thing is that takes up 4. We've got 3, so we can actually gain some of our Mark 2s back, I suppose. So I'm kind of I'm shorting the assemblers for the reinforced iron plates. I might have miscalculated, so I'll have to look at that again in the future. Conveyor lift Mark 1. Well, in that case, we'll just conveyor lift Mark 1 down on regular plates, conveyor lift Mark 1 down on regular plates, and then we will just bring that through, and we will pass 1 each, at least for now. Like, well, actually, we don't even need the merger. We don't even need that. It's just straight up. There it is. There we go. Okay, so what else does it need? This needs plates. We need 30 per minute. So we know that these are rods. These are plates right here. Well, actually, you know what we can do? Is we can take these, bring it down, and turn them backwards so that they can receive from the rear. In the rear with the gear. That's... And then the rotors take 20 iron rods per minute. Well, that's definitely a Mark 1. That's for sure. That is for sure. And is this one right here. Here we go. So this makes me want to change these recipes again, because I've got the rotors on that side. So it makes me want to do this. Essentially change these to plates. So we'll copy that, and we'll go plate, plate, and now these are already all plates, and then we just need 3 of the rods. So I know I'm confusing things here, and then we'll need to recolor to make sure we're not completely flubbing it, but it just lines up with the assemblers better. It's 1, 2, and 3. So these are basically rods. They look, honestly, the colors I chose are not the best. They look the same, basically. Tell you what, we're gonna go with splitters here for the rods, like this. They need 20 each, so conveyor belt Mark 1. And we know that below, each rod is 15. So 15, 15, and then a little bit more. So let's get our mergers. We'll go merge, and we'll have the green face down range. So this is 15, 15, and just to double check, I think they need 20, right? Yeah, they need 20. So honestly, yeah, I think I've gotten my ratios off. Well, it'll make something. I'm not saying it's going to be efficient, but it will make something, right? So right now that should pass those rods through. And then I might, yeah, well, it'll pass something through, and then I'll have to suss out the ratios again, and who knows, I might have to change some things. And now we just need to take care of the plates. Let's do the same thing. We'll get our splitter. Orange arrow from this side, orange arrow from that side, and orange arrow from this side. And we are going to go with mergers. Merger, 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 and merger. See, I want a conveyor belt Mark II. But honestly, I'm running out of plates, so I'm going to say Mark 1. Mark 1. Mark 1. And then we'll pass in. So I'm just going to color it, though, so that I have to revisit this. So red, 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 and red. And that should then split off some plates this way. Honestly, the Mark 1s into the assemblers are not bad. They're not bad at all. It's the throughput. So I'm going to mark those. And there we go. Okay, so we've got inputs for everything. So it would just be a matter of having power to... Oh my god. Oh my... Glad we had a ladder there. Oh, that was a little terrifying. And then just close that up there, and now we're just gonna get a power pole and put that 1 per 2 because we are running out of time. And just for now, I'll get one of these up here and pass her through. So these are on a completely different circuit, but that's okay. Now it's a matter of just passing these to like a container or something like that. So I'm just gonna, in the interest of time, like I'll have to change this. Oh, we need plates. Okay, so I will have to do one more run for plates, and then hopefully we should be able to see if they can put something out. We'll be able to follow it along, and we'll see all kinds of issues because I haven't done any of the clocking or tweaking there, and I may have the ratios wrong. So, but at least look how tall that is. That's honestly, that's like one of the biggest projects I've ever had. So I'm glad we tried. I'm glad we tried. It wasn't perfect, but we tried. That's what's important. And then we can hopefully have it fixed by the next time that I see ya. Yeah, look at that. We've got some outages there, and currently, ew, yeah, we're out of power, so the whole thing is probably going to shut everything down. We got rods, all that. All right, well, let's just go back and we'll turn it on and watch what happens. How about that? What if I cut the line there just so it's got less of a draw, and then maybe we'll cut out that line. You like this? You like this approach? I know I do. And then we'll pass it to the plug on the outside. There we go. So now these things kind of have some power. We'll just start this up because it's going to take a while to filter through. Yeah. And then we better get over to the stairs. So 240 ore is spinning up, and we got to race it to the top. It's not going to be hard because there's no way it catches up with us. We're too fast. My gosh, too furious. Excellent. All right. Plug her up. That's what I say. Ooh, hello. Oh yeah, that one's a singleton, and this one's handling 2, and then that one is handling 2. All right, so all of these have power. We need to build a box to receive the goods, and we're probably going to be clipping, but hey, that's okay. So we're going to go merger. I don't know, out that way. And we're just going to use Mark 1s no matter what. Because I just want to see that logistically it at least sort of flows. That's all I care about. We got a merger. And we'll pass her through and pass that out. And then straight into the box. Great. And then have a little tongue. And we're going to do the same thing in the opposite. So we'll go merger. Except it's going to come to us. Green to us. Perfect. And then this is going to go and clip like that. Perfect. And then we're just going to get one little tongue right here. And then we can follow the madness downstairs. Okay, so very excited about this. I just saw something come up. This is kind of blowing my mind. Wow, they're trickling up already. What's happening? It's idle because it's waiting for more screws. That's fine. That's fine. Because it will eventually get screws. but it's getting screws and it's getting rods. That's a triumph. Honestly, that is a triumph. So let's go down here. How are our reinforced iron plates doing? They have nothing. They have zero. Nothing. What are they getting? Nothing. Oh, that's not a good thing. I don't approve of that situation. It's probably because we're doing a manifold, so it's taking a while for the machines to get anything. These are all screws. These are getting iron ingots, and they will create plates as soon as they actually get enough ingots, but the rotors are on the side that is better stacked right now. I'm curious how our power situation is. If we go to a pole, we can check to see the draw on the grid. Obviously, we cut off large chunks of our operation, but I'm gonna fall. Okay. And we are, wow, we are 283 out of 300. Holy moly, we need more burners, and we need coal pronto. We need coal pronto. So the nice thing is, it seems like they're getting the stuff. They're getting the plates. Look at that. They're getting plates and screws. It's just going to take a billion years. Look, the screws have to come in, but that one actually has a plate, and that one actually has a plate, and the rotors are going, and they're doing it. So overall, I would consider this a partial success. But you know what? If we stand back, it kind of looks like a factory, doesn't it? That's pretty awesome. I gotta say, I'm very impressed with myself. So, holy moly, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So let's take one walk through, and then we'll wrap up because we're over time. But, ooh, boy. So we've got our 2 miners. They're passing in 240 iron ore into the basement. And then down below, that's all. You can kind of see it through the hole here. I guess we'll get a little bit of a peekaboo. There we go, a little peek. It's being passed half and half, so back 4, front 4. And then those are being popped on up into 8 different smelters, which already seem to be very healthy indeed. Look at that. They actually have full stacks of 100 inside. This one, maybe not so much. Unless it's getting stunted elsewhere. Ooh, yeah, it's getting trickles. Well, oh, you know what? Maybe the output isn't... Well, I'll figure that out. I'll figure that out. It's possible that... Looks like it's not moving at all with the ingots. Okay, well, that's a thing. I will look at that. Nothing works first time out, it seems. And so then we've got all the ingots coming on up and then being passed into the center where one half is handling 7 constructors and the other half is handling 7 constructors, which is great. And then from there, God, I love. And then we've got our constructor room. And so we've got all screws, 7 screw machines. We've got 3 rod machines and 4 plate machines. And then those pass up onto the next floor, which I'm on the wrong side for the stairs. I still need to get used to this. When there are actual doors, it'll be easier to see. And I can paint the doors red, who knows. And then in theory, all the screws get fed into each of these machines. Apparently not this one, so I'll look at that again. And then we've got assemblers on the top that produce the stuff. And right now it looks like we actually have a reinforced iron plate. Yes, that's right, 1. And on the other side, we actually have a rotors. Look at that, 9. Well, bunnies, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. That was our reinforced iron plate rotor factory setup. It was a first to employ basements. We bought a lot of stuff in the shop. We were able to use walls, holes, do wiring. We're able to kind of set things up from start to finish. Does it work right now? Partially, but we'll fix it and it'll sing like crazy, and I'm super excited for it. So if you enjoyed the episode, please feel free to like, share, or comment down below. It helps us a great deal. I had a total blast. I hope you did as well, and I can't wait to get into the next one with you. Have a wonderful, wonderful night.